Leonard Rogers was from right here in Carter County, Kentucky. He was my grandmother's uncle. Around home, folks just called him Leonard. He wasn't some far-off name in a military archive. He was a fun, easygoing uncle who liked to sing silly songs and make his nieces laugh. My grandmother remembers him that way. Cheerful, kind, always handing out compliments. The kind of man who could brighten a room without even trying. He left home during the Second World War, like so many young men from small Kentucky towns. Back then, service wasn't something you thought about. You just did it. Leonard joined the U.S. Army. His record shows Private First Class, Leonard R. Rogers, serial number 357-808-62. The War Department's official list for Carter County says it plain. Killed in action. No dates. No details, just those 3 words. Before his family, those words were enough to stop time. He's been gone 80 years now. That's a long time. So long that there are very few people left who would even remember him. One of those few is my grandmother. She can still recall the songs, the laughter, the way he made her and her sister feel special. Her memories are among the last living connection to who Leonard really was. Before the war, before the telegram, before history turned him into just another name on a list. It's been said that he fell somewhere in the South Pacific. Don't really know which island or which battle, only that he never came home. Because he was listed as killed in action, he would have received the Purple Heart, an honor that came too late for him to ever see. There's no headline, no public ceremony recorded anywhere, just a family who never stopped remembering. Leonard is buried in Messer Rogers Cemetery near Grayson. It's a small, tucked-away place, the kind of cemetery you only find if you already know it's there. Trees lean over the stumps, and the ground has that old Kentucky quiet that only time can make. His grave rests among relatives who carried his name forward. And that's the thing about these little country cemeteries. They hold the stories that the history books overlook. When you visit a place like this, you can see how easy someone's life can fade into the background. Leonard's name didn't make national news, but his sacrifice meant just as much as anyone's. He left behind family, brothers, sisters, nieces, people who spent their life wondering what might have been if he had made it home. My grandmother never talks about the war first. She talks about the man, the uncle who sang funny songs who made everyone around him laugh. That's how she remembers him. And that's how she wants him remembered, not as a casualty, but as family. 80 years later, her voice may be one of the last to still speak his name from memory. That's why this story matters, because when those voices are gone, so is that living connection. It's not about medals or ranks. It's about remembering who they were before they left. Every small town has names like Leonard R. Rogers etched into stone. Each one represents a story that never got written down. When you walk through a place like this cemetery, you realize just how much history hides in the past. Every headstone is a reminder that freedom came with a price, paid by people whose names never made the headlines. Leonard's story might not be famous, but it's ours. It belongs to his family, to Carter County, and now to anyone who takes the time to remember. My grandmother still smiles when she talks about him, and maybe that's what remembrance really looks like, not the monuments or ceremonies, but a story carried through the generations. Here on this Kentucky hillside, Leonard's headstone stands among his people. The wind moves through the trees and the world keeps going, but his story remains. He never saw the end of the war, but his legacy didn't end there. It lived on through his family, and now through this story. Because every name deserves to be spoken, Every sacrifice deserves to be remembered, and sometimes all it takes is one more visit, one more story, to make sure that memory never fades. I've heard Leonard's name my whole life. I've seen his picture, listened to the stories, and always knew there was an uncle who never made it home from the war. But until now, I'd never really knew him. Learning his story, piecing it together from old records, family memories, and this quiet cemetery makes me feel connected to him in a way that I never expected. It's strange how someone who's been gone for 80 years can still reach across time and remind you what family and sacrifice really means. I feel fortunate to finally know more about who he was, not just as a soldier, but as part of our family. And I hope by telling his story, others will know him too. Once again, here in Grayson, Kentucky, in Messer Rogers Cemetery, at the final resting place of Leonard Rogers, I will see you again soon.